There we go, y'all. Thank you so much for your patience. You know how technical difficulties can happen unexpectedly, but the show, as they say, must go on. Listen, I hope that short, brief intermission allows you time to go ahead and share, tell others about the Pain Purpose Academies, Empower Her Purpose Women's Peer Group. We are live and in living color. Listen, go ahead and tell your sisters, tell your friends, tell them about this episode. Tell them to come on and join in. If you're watching on YouTube, welcome. If you're watching on Facebook, welcome. If you're watching the replay on any of these, welcome. If you're within our peer group, welcome to you. Listen, ladies, tonight tonight is going to be a good one. I think all of them are good. Now, to be fair, all of them are good. But tonight we're going to be talking about, welcome in. Tonight we're going to be talking about breaking soul ties and strongholds. Breaking soul ties and strongholds. I absolutely love this community. I love you guys, and I love you for being a part of tonight. And I think that tonight will be good for many reasons, because I think that oftentimes we misdiagnose. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. We misdiagnose what um, soul ties are, right? Um, Oftentimes it's given one type of way of existing, um, and we'll get into that in a moment. But for those of you who never have been a part of this, who would never come on before, this is your very first time. Welcome to the Empower Her Purpose Women's Peer Group. I am your host, Chelselia Cookie Payne. I am so happy that you're here. The Empower Her Purpose Women's Peer Group is where faith is strengthened, identity is reclaimed, and purpose is activated. That's where you are. You are smack dab in the middle of an important part of your week. This Tuesday night, we're here every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I really am happy that you all are here tonight. This is not a surface level conversation that we're having. This is how would you put it? This is a heart level one. This one, because many women are trying to step into new seasons, new identities, new assignments, right? But they feel stuck or heavy or emotionally drained and can't quite explain why. And often the reason isn't a lack of faith, y'all. Really, if we're going to be honest about it, it's unresolved soul ties and unaddressed strongholds. But tonight we're going to talk about what they are, how they form, how they affect our growth, how they affect our spiritual growth, and most importantly, we're going to talk about how to begin releasing them so that you can walk forward whole and free. Okay? You with me? Good. Because I want you to, as we're going through this, I want you to share with someone else. You know that there's someone else who can use this, and I want you to share this with them. This is not about blame. This is not about shame. This is about clarity, healing, and alignment. Understanding soul ties is going to be one of the key pivotal parts of what we discuss tonight. Okay, so let's start right here. Let's start with understanding really what a soul tie is, or in some instances, isn't. So let's start there. So a soul tie is a deep emotional or spiritual attachment. And they are formed, these soul ties are formed through relationships, through experiences, or through trauma. Some soul ties are even healthy, but others are harmful to us. And soul ties can form through different ways. They can come through romantic relationships. I know that's one of the ones we've heard over the years that, especially in physical or sexual relationships, there are soul ties, right? But there's also marriage or divorce. We've got close friendships that evolve into a soul tie. We'll get into all of that. We've got family dynamics, right? We've got spiritual authority figures, soul ties. Excuse me. Soul ties. We're still talking about soul ties. We've got trauma bonds, traumatic experiences that have bonded you to someone else who's experienced the same or similar experience. Shared pain or survival seasons. When we went through X, Y, and Z, and someone else went through it with us or could identify with us. Yeah. The danger isn't the connection. God created us for connection. The danger, y'all, is when that connection turns into dependency, into control, or even identity confusion. That's a problem. An unhealthy soul tie doesn't just connect you to someone, it anchors you as a version of yourself that God is calling you out of. Pay attention, y'all. Lock in. Because today I'm prayerful that we all get free. So let's talk about, okay, so now, okay, we've identified this and this. These are some areas where soul ties can appear. But then what are the signs that you may be dealing with an unhealthy soul tie? What I know you just gave us a list, but what are some of the signs? So y'all, let's make this practical. Because if you listen to me on any of these Tuesday nights, I want things to be practical. So I am not a mental health professional. I want to make that clear and understood. However, comma, however, however, dash, I want you to know that this information I have compiled, I was able to do some research, excuse me, and find out this information I'm sharing. This is not anything that came off the top of my head. I promise you that. So, as I said, let's get practical. So, you may be dealing with an unhealthy soul tie if you can't emotionally detach from someone who is no longer present. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. You feel guilt when you try to move forward. Yeah. You constantly replay conversations, moments, or wounds. Now, let me pause right there. This is different than grief. This is different than grief because you may have lost someone, a loved one may have passed away, or whatever the case may be, and this is different than grief. Let's keep going. Take another deep breath. Let it go. Here's another one. You feel spiritually stagnant after certain interactions. Excuse me. Let me read that one again, because I have that one here in my notes highlighted. So let me read that again. You feel spiritually stagnant after certain interactions. Yeah, I had that one highlighted here. Your peace is easily disrupted by thoughts of a person or, y'all, a season. Sometimes it's not always a person that has you locked into that moment. Sometimes, y'all, it's a season. It's something you've already experienced, and you keep going back to that place, and it disrupts your peace. You feel responsible for someone else's emotions or their outcomes, right? That's draining. Soul ties often sound like this. They often sound like, I know God told me to let go, but I can't. Ooh, y'all taking them deep breaths. I'm, here's another. I feel pulled, feel pulled back every time I try to move forward. Ooh, here's another one. I don't know who I am without this connection. And again, y'all, please take note that this is not only related to romantic relationships. Sometimes this has to do with a church, an affiliation, an organization, a job, and this is, I don't know who I am without this connection. That's entanglement. That's entanglement. And again, not just talking about physical. Now, let's get in a little bit deeper, y'all. Let's get in a bit deeper. And again, thank you all for tuning in. I want you to go ahead and share as you're coming in. Let's go a little deeper. Let's talk about understanding strongholds. Let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about understanding strongholds. Let's talk about these strongholds. Let's get into it. You still with me, guys? I hope you are. A stronghold is not just a bad habit. It's not just a thought. It's a pattern of thinking that has taken root and has built authority in your mind. Y'all, it's a pattern of thinking that has taken root. It has gotten it's got an anchor in there, and it's built authority in your mind. That's too much power. That's your mind. Strongholds are often built from repeated trauma. Y'all, whew, take a deep breath. Strongholds are often built from lies believed over time. A seed that was planted, that was a lie, that is now embedded in your psyche, in your way of thinking, and now it's become a part of who you identify yourself as, and it's been a lie the whole time. Strongholds can present themselves as being fear responses, unhealed wounds, past failures, rejection, or abandonment. Hear me, y'all. Hear me. Whew. Hear me. Strongholds, they sound like I'll always be alone. I can't trust anyone. This is just how I am. If you've never said these, you probably have heard these. I'll never change. I don't deserve better. Again, if you've never said these or thought these, you probably know someone who has. Think about it. Strongholds don't always feel dramatic. Mm-mm. They feel familiar, y'all. And familiarity is what makes them dangerous. They're not always dramatic. They're not always in your face, because they feel familiar. I know what this is. I've felt this before. That's what makes it dangerous. So I encourage you with these scriptures. Excuse me, excuse me. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 4 through 5. For my note takers, 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 4 through 5. The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought. We take captive every thought. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood. We wrestle against what the enemy tries to hold us captive to. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood. We wrestle against thoughts that have embedded themselves in us, that we have the ability, the authority, the will, and the power to rid ourselves of. We can be delivered and freed from strongholds. First, identify what it is, what they are, who they are, renounce them, seek God for your next, and move forward with your God given purpose, because you have a God given purpose, and strongholds are not a part of it. Strongholds are not a part of it. Listen, I encourage you to join us on next Tuesday for another time where we get to come together and listen, discuss things that help to make ourselves whole, healed, encouraged, and inspired. I encourage you, ladies, if you have not already, you'll see it going across your screen. You'll see at the bottom of your screen there. We have opened up the registration for the Empower Her Purpose Women's Peer Group Community. This is a membership, and y'all, this short segment that we do on Tuesday nights is just a little bit. This is just a teensy bit of what you'll get over there. You'll get resources, downloads. You'll get me coming on live. You'll get all kinds of things. We'll get to have discussions. You'll get to network. You'll get a chance to be with like-minded women of faith who are going in the same direction as you, which is up, right? So go to stand.store/Coach Cookie, and that'll give you information on how, and then we will connect with you on how to get you plugged into the membership site. I love you guys, and I really mean that. I pray that you have the most amazing and wonderful and blessed rest of your week. And as we close out January, listen, be blessed, be encouraged, and know that you are better than any strong tie. You are stronger than any stronghold or soul tie. You can, and you will, and you should be free. It's your right. It's your blood right. I love you guys. Be blessed.